Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Book Splash on Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan. Let's hook up once again as we engage with writers and savor the beauty of books. I am Michael Olatunbosun. Today, the book on the table challenges us to consider the world of entrepreneurship. The book was published in 2010 by Alpha Press Lagos. It is titled Mind Your Business, an entrepreneurial guide to executing your ideas, and authored by Ayo Ayodeji. The author, Honorable Ayo Ayodeji, is a politician, management consultant, and serial entrepreneur. He's a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University and has interest in financial services, taxation, as well as project management. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, a certified project manager of Project Management Institute, United States of America, and a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN. In the preface to the book, the author stated that the book was written to serve as a resource and reference for would-be entrepreneurs. The book, according to the author, is to guide business startups in, quote, idea generation to opportunity screening to writing a compelling business plan to raising capital and managing your business for success. End of quote. In this book, the author underscores the importance of entrepreneurs in any economy. For we learn that without entrepreneurs, governments will not be able to generate revenue through taxation, especially stating that the existence of a thriving entrepreneurial landscape brings solution to the world through innovations in production and offering of goods and services. In the book, Mind Your Business, Ayo Ayodeji maintains that the ability of people of any nation to transform ideas to businesses is the precursor of development. Thus, the best personal gratification comes from creating and owning businesses. The work makes reference to ability to differentiate between an idea and opportunity as product of a trained mind and senses, results in creation of wealth and businesses. The work provides insights to issues like how to search out ideas and recognize opportunities, how you can be committed to mission accomplishment, and how to acquire knowledge of the business sector of interest. The book also teaches that exposure to information in your line of business interest increases your chances of success. The place of personal development and ability to surmount obstacles or challenges as elements are important to business success, as well as the ability to manage human capacity as an entrepreneur. The author asserts that, I quote, an entrepreneur must be able to raise capital for the new venture, adequate capital. End of quote. You're listening to Book Splash on Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan, and the book on the table is Mind Your Business, an entrepreneurial guide to executing your ideas, and authored by Ayo Ayodeji. In this first part of my conversation with Ayo Ayodeji, he tells me why he wrote the book and submits that every human being has the capacity to be an entrepreneur. Listen. Honorable Ayo Ayodeji, I don't even know whether to say today that you are a politician or a businessman, or how do you describe yourself? Let's start from there.
I would like to be referred to as a politician first.
Okay.
And then you can call me serial entrepreneur. You can call me a management accountant. That is fine.
Okay, so tell me, Mind Your Business. Why did you write this book?
I've answered this question a lot. When I moved out of paid employment and I moved into business, I have taken a lot of things up in terms of capacity building before starting business. I've done a few things in terms of business as an undergraduate. I had an idea as an undergraduate that I just tried and it worked. All along, the spirit has been there to do business. So when I moved out of paid employment years back and I moved into entrepreneurship, I did a few things and I realized a number of things are working. So over the years, a lot of people were coming to me asking questions. How do you do it? How do you make this happen? We notice you're doing this right. Over years, I realized that people were asking same questions and I was giving a lot of answers to so many people. So I decided, okay, all of these answers that I want to give, let me just pack everything into a book. Let me try and encourage the mindset for it. So why did I write it? I was answering the same question to so many people. So I just thought to package that in the book and make it available.
In the preface to the book, you wrote here, I believe that there is the capacity to be an entrepreneur in every individual. The extent to which entrepreneurial abilities are developed, the level of exposure to relevant information, the willingness to launch out makes the difference. So, everybody has the capacity to be an entrepreneur?
Every human being has the capacity. It doesn't matter whether you are earning salary today, you are earning fee today, every one of us. I'm a lover of the book, which is the Bible. And the very first introduction that we had to God in Genesis 1:1 is the fact that God is a creator. What does it mean to create? It's just to conceptualize an idea and materialize it. So you want to make sure that bread is available for people to eat. That's an idea. You can materialize it. You want to say that you want to build a manufacturing line for anything. Projector, television, radio, air conditioning. That is an idea. You have conceptualized it. Can you materialize it? Once you materialize it, you have created something. Every one of us, we have the ability. Can everybody be an entrepreneur at the same time? No. So people take different paths. For example, after I left university, I took a path where I went into employment and I earned salary for years before setting up a business. And maybe because of my experience, 80-90% of the time, that is what I will recommend to people. That even if you want to go into entrepreneurship, you need to have a learning curve in corporate environment and administration. Learn how people do things.
I was going to ask that question. Basically, I've read a lot of books about, people asking us to launch out, to be an entrepreneur and all that. You are giving us a new paradigm here. Even though it is preferable to be an entrepreneur, you need corporate experience. You need to take paid employment for some time. It may be some months, it may be years for some people.
Not necessarily because of the money, but because of the experience.
Okay.
That exposure to how things work is priceless. And everybody that wants to be an entrepreneur needs to understand this. When you have chance to work in an organization, the chance that you have is to see how things work within that particular organization. You have the chance to see how things are structured. You have the chance to see how people are engaged. You have the chance to see how conflicts are resolved. You have the chance to see how customers are related with. You have the chance to see how revenue is being generated. You have the chance to see how supervisors and MD handle situations and handle issues. All of that is what you can carry into your own thing when you form it. This is the issue. I've met a lot of people in business and entrepreneur that did not pass through this particular line of corporate organization and learning a few things. And it shows in their business. That gap of administrative ability and capacity shows. And level of information, just like you've read out, which is more like part of the summary of the book, the exposure to information, the exposure to know-how, and the willingness to launch out becomes very, very important in order to be successful as an entrepreneur.
In your book, you explained that entrepreneurship is the driver of the economy, the national economy, I mean.
That's true.
And, various other scholars in this area have also said that. But can we now say that the Nigerian economy's slowdown is because there are not many entrepreneurs? Or maybe we should say there are not many fit entrepreneurs in Nigeria?
Both of your statements, I can agree less. To go back to the foundation of what you said, in terms of establishing the fact that businesses and entrepreneurship is the major fabric on which a nation is built. That is very, very relevant in developed climate and is a little bit missing in our climate. When you say government, what is the major revenue source for government? Generally, it is taxation. How do you get a taxation? You get it from individuals, you get it from corporate entities. The more of the corporate entities that we have, the better for us. So whether your country is Nigeria, your country is South Korea, or it is Japan, or it is America, or it is United Kingdom, taxation that you get from people that have employment and taxation that you get from organization becomes the bulk of what we can plan on. So the more of successful businesses that we have in Nigeria, the better for us. So the simple question now to ask is, in Nigeria, do we really have established companies like that have survived over the years? That is one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is small and medium scale enterprises. Do we have a lot of them thriving within our environment? The answer is no. The policies and the infrastructures and the resource support for entities within our client is still low, is below average. Get me right, not outrightly against government on this platform. On ease of doing business, they are trying to make a lot of things happen. Very much aware that there's still a lot of gap that they need to cover. Business registration is a little bit easier from the website of CAC and all that. That wasn't there years ago, so we need to commend that. And making a few things easier in terms of filing the e-copies of things and all that, that is fine. But in terms of resource and support, a lot needs to be done. And in terms of capacity building, because business is not just about throwing money into it, it's about knowing how to do it. And outrightly, there are also a lot of businesses you can do with little money or with no money. And that's one of the things I want our people to understand.
One of those things you have in your book as well.
Yeah, sure. Because so many people, once they think about business, they're thinking about a lot of money. There's the angle of doing business with little money. There's the angle of starting small. Because business is about process. So more often than not, when people want to start their business, they're just thinking everything will happen at the same time. It's a staircase. You need to take the steps. You need to take the steps and grow. So many businesses that you're hearing about today, they started small. If you have the capacity and the resource, and you can muzzle up and you understand how it is done, there's nothing stopping you from starting beyond small. But don't break your head. Don't lose sleep in order to start it big. No. Follow the process and grow into it. And I don't have any doubt, if you stay with it, you understand the process, you understand everything about managerial ability, your company will grow.
Welcome back. In the book, Mind Your Business, an entrepreneurial guide to executing your ideas, Honorable Ayo Ayodeji challenges the thought of prospective entrepreneurs as to capital. He writes, most people think availability of capital will be their signal into business startup. I found out it does not have to be like that. Most successful businesses today did not start with capital on the table. In fact, when thinking through starting your own business, the priority list should look like this in order of importance. 1. An idea that can work. 2. The determination to see the idea through. 3. Ability to raise resources. And 4. The ability to raise a winning team. The author continually harps on creativity and ideation in the entrepreneurial mix. He insists that creative thinking and ability to bring to reality one's mind picture is important. Hear him, I quote, "The mind thinks possibilities and is open to success, and prosperity continually attracts unstoppable flow of other ideas. The more you are success conscious, the more you are open to opportunities of getting things done in a better way. For so many businesses have been built around modernizing the way a product is made or service delivered." End of quote. In the book, Mind Your Business, there are 2 idea creation channels. 1. Solution to a problem, that is, new product and or service. And 2. Creating a better way to operate an existing product or deliver an existing service. The author thinks that your idea and opportunity recognition will help you to define your life. However, you must connect your idea to your passion and develop requisite skills to make your mark. The book contains 245 pages and in 13 chapters, one of which is dedicated to analyzing some business opportunities and how to find your niche in each. Thus, the business opportunities are analyzed and important things to look out for highlighted. In the book, Mind Your Business, the author writes that entrepreneurs must understand the socio-economic system under which they are to operate. The rationale is that if you understand the environment, you will know how to solve problems that are thrown up. So the admonition is, as an aspiring entrepreneur, please look around you. Perform detailed research and make inquiries. Entrepreneurs bring new things to the economy or devise better ways of making a particular product or delivering a particular service. Please note this, there is one thing I found out in my career as a business person. Once you launch out on the first idea, your mind gets sharper and your eyes see more clearly. You should continually be looking for the opportunity to see more and more. It is not everyone that looks that sees. There are a number of money-making ventures in your economy. If you have done enough on exposing your mind and expanding your reality, you begin to see clearly. The work, Mind Your Business, also contains exposé on how to understand your competition. The author believes that there's no point starting a business line without a competitive advantage. So, outselling your competition requires a deep understanding of your market and your competitiveness. So, to succeed in your entrepreneurial drive, you must study the competition. Know them, know what they do and how. Study their weaknesses and strengths, as well as their standard practice that is working for them. In the book, Ayo Ayodeji discusses the critical place of business plan in entrepreneurial advancement. The author believes that no notable achievement can come about without adequate planning. The book avers that, I quote, "The business plan procedure is so important that the non-existence of it portends great danger to your venture." End of quote. From available information, the greater portions of businesses fail because of lack of planning. For him, a business plan is a formal statement of a set of business goals, the reasons they are believed attainable, and the actual plan for reaching those goals. Thus, the business plan would let the individual to answer difficult questions and help you to preempt challenges. The program is Book Splash, and I'm still discussing the book, Mind Your Business, an entrepreneurial guide to executing your ideas, authored by Honorable Ayo Ayodeji. In the book, Ayo Ayodeji discusses the essence of personal development in business. He writes, and I quote, "You must grow so many things from the conception point of your venture. The truth is that you have to grow your intelligence in your field of interest to be continuously relevant, devising better ways to do business and be able to attract the human talents who are agents of transformation and could move your business from early growth to great expansion and great returns. If you do not grow in a thing, you really cannot have command of it." End of quote. He continues by musing that the best would always come to any person who seeks continuous improvement. So he goes ahead to suggest personal development anchors and relevant skills and subjects. He believes that business people should develop themselves and seek to expand their intelligence. Continuous learning avenues like seminars and conferences are important as well. The book discusses how to execute the business plan and how to avoid common entrepreneurial mistakes. Some of the common mistakes include overtrading, lack of knowledge, skill in the business of interest, lack of or inadequate business planning, or poor character, etc. The book concludes by stating that businesses thrive on networking. The author therefore opines that business startups should link up with others and various groups that could be of help to you and your business, insisting that you would be better off to take all the help you could get along the way as direct help and as collaboration. The premise here is that the assignment before you is bigger than an individual. Ultimately, the book, Mind Your Business, is a fully packaged resource for aspiring and practicing entrepreneurs. It is written in conversational format and paced to allow the reader to completely digest every nugget in the book. In the concluding part of my conversation with Honorable Ayo Ayodeji, he talks to me about how entrepreneurs can raise capital, common mistakes to avoid, among other things. Let me come to you before I go back to the book. You are a businessman and you are also writing. Tell me, how did you stumble upon writing?
Well, just like a number of persons with interest in success, with interest in business, we actually do read a lot of books and get a lot of exposure. And along the line, you find out that personally yourself, with your experience and a few things that you have tried, you have become sort of a body of knowledge. For someone like me, I've been a teacher for a very, very long time. I love to share knowledge. I've been involved in teaching one way or the other for the past 29, 30 years.
Wow.
Yes, I've been involved in teaching one way or the other. I taught my mates in secondary school. Yes, so immediately after leaving secondary school, I've been teaching. In the university, I taught. After university, up till tomorrow, I still teach various things. All right, so writing is a form of sharing knowledge, and I feel it's one of the best forms of sharing knowledge because it stays there for a very long time, and then it just leads to bear the way that the writer is thinking. I don't know what price you can put on that, really, because the truth is, for business and for life, having access to the way that someone is thinking is the best form of gift that you can get. So it doesn't matter what the name of the person is. What you need to understand is the way that person is thinking. If you understand the way the person is thinking and you're willing enough, you can get a part of their result. You can get all of their results. You can get beyond their results.
Okay.
If you have the willingness. But in books, you just find out how the person is thinking. If you're able to tap into that particular thinking, it can open doors to you.
I know how you think now because I've read your book. This book was published in 2010. How long did it take you to put this book together?
In terms of conceptualization, manuscript and everything, 2 years.
Okay.
I think I started working on it in 2008. I admit that writing book is a tough job. I'm writing another one now, and It just takes a certain level of inspiration when it comes to you. Then you write a lot. There are days you could do 5 pages. There are days you could do 10 pages. And there are days you struggle to do a page.
Even 10 words.
Yes, you just struggle. So when I notice like that I'm struggling, I just leave it and then wait for the inspiration. So when it comes back, then you can cover a little bit. I think this is about 250 pages.
This book has about 13 chapters. And you started by providing, saying that entrepreneurship is about providing solutions. You also went to what you want, ideas, and the rest of it. I want to go to a particular part of the book which talks about raising capital.
Yes.
I know a lot of us, the moment someone suggests go into business, the first question we ask is, where is the money? Where is the capital to start a business? But you are insisting here that you can even start a business with little or no capital.
Yeah, because it's majorly about starting with what you want. Our people need to understand that. If I'm starting a new business today and I need an office to run that particular business and I just have a space, when I'm trying to pull out the financial requirements, if there's AC in my house, part of the financial requirement should not be air conditioning for the office. I should go and pull the AC in my house and put it in that office if I'm passionate and I believe it's going to work. Let me mention this very quickly. When people want to go into business, they feel they need to impress people and buy some things and go and get a big office and buy some new shirts and suits and buy a big office table and buy an official car.
But it's about packaging, isn't it?
If the line of your business means that revenue comes only by packaging, that is fine.
Okay.
Probably you're into entertainment and you're into things like that. I do not have anything with you. But if that is not your line, it is irrelevant. See, Michael, when it is time for the business to support you in terms of mobility, in terms of official car, you will know. But at the beginning, it's totally irrelevant. And it's one of the mistakes that people make. You want to appear larger than life because you're starting a business is not necessary. It's not important. What you need to do is focus. What money do we need to spend in order for revenue to begin to come in? That is called working capital. That must take your attention. So whatever you are setting up, your focus must be on working capital. Michael, what is the point in having 100 naira? You want to go into business. You have used 60 naira to set up. You have used some other 25 naira for salaries and allowances for people. And working capital is 15 naira. It makes no sense. The working capital is what will bring money into your business and bring revenue. Why not focus on that? If you have 100 naira, let working capital, attention on working capital, be at least 80 naira. That is what will generate revenue. This is about the major mistake that people make when they are starting their business. The initial money that they have, they want to pump it to have an outlook that they are now in business and they feel like impressing people.
Could this be what business people mean by financial intelligence?
It is part of it because financial intelligence is also about planning. Your cash flow, your cash management, your credit understanding, your relationship with the customer, your emotional intelligence, your artificial intelligence, all of those things are bundled into it. If you don't manage the finances, your working capital will go down and then the company will close down. People come to me a lot when they have all these issues with their businesses and we need to sort out a few things and all that. And I see these symptoms repeating itself over and over and over with so many things. Nobody should go into business without financial intelligence. You need to understand how to handle everything about finance. And that also includes your ability to handle credit. That is, if you're extending credit to people. Because if you extend credit to people and you don't know how to manage credit, it will crash what you have. Your money is not going to come back on time. If it comes back, it might be late. You also need to understand how to handle cash and everything about cash management. So it's holistic in terms of financial management. If you are going into business, you need to learn a lot. And you see that's part of my book. It's one of the things I encourage. Before you put your leg into any business, learn all you can.
You talked about research. You talked about
a whole lot.
Knowing competition.
Don't rush into it. Don't feel because my friend is making money from bread. My friend has now got a very big fashion house to sew a single clothes. People pay 8,000 and 10,000. So myself too, I want to go into that. That is not the idea of entrepreneurship. You need to learn and understand. One of the things I also need to mention is that for anybody who wants to go into any line of business, there's what I call key success factor for any line of business. Otherwise, you'll be struggling for years. If you are able to sustain, you'll be at mediocre level. And you don't want to do that. The phrase is very common. You go big or you go home. You need to grow. And as many as what you can have time to learn, you need to learn before you launch out. Don't be overtaken by emotion. Don't be overtaken by hype. Don't be overtaken by this is what I see, and I encourage you, be passionate, jump out, that is fine, but make sure that it is calculated. Business can make money for you, but it also has risk. What risk does it have? It means that if you pump money to business, the money can go down the drain. And you need to be very, very conscious of that.
So in a nutshell, the ability to transform ideas into businesses is the most important thing for you.
True.
But the point is this: how do you hunt for ideas that will make good business?
There are so many ways to hunt for ideas, but the very first thing I want to say is this, that nobody can really tell you what to do.
Nobody can really tell you what to do.
Nobody can tell you what to do.
Wow.
In terms of business. Once it does not come from inside of you, and the passion is perfectly aligned with the way you're thinking, it's difficult to sustain it. Michael, let me state it very clearly. Any business that you move into, challenges will come and storms of life will come. If you are not the source and you're not passionate about that particular business, sustainability becomes an issue. So, how do I get ideas? You can get ideas through various ways. You could read books and ideas come to you. You could read newspapers and ideas come to you. You could discuss with friends and ideas come to you. You could look at what other people are doing. We call that one no shame, copy and paste. So if anybody says today that I want to set up a restaurant, are you the first person in Nigeria to set up a restaurant? Are you the first person in the world? It's copy and paste. It's just what do you bring in? You bring in competitive advantage. What is that? What makes your own business different? Okay. How do you stand out? All right. And that's competitive advantage. So you could go to trade fair. You go to trade fair, you have ideas, you can learn about merchandising. You could visit Japan and come back with an idea. You could visit Netherlands and come back with an idea. You could visit South Korea. I love those countries. China, Japan, South Korea, America. The way they're thinking is very phenomenal. The setup of policies and government support is wonderful. The thinking as they are growing on is wonderful. I'm just hoping that in a few years, as a people in Nigeria, we can get to that particular level where we are thinking and the structures and policies around support us. Because, Michael, until we get there, we will not have businesses that can generate enough taxation to support our budget. Right now, as we have, whether any state or any government, it is shortfall upon shortfall. We have issues with revenue and we're not thinking right. On the angle of setting up businesses and generating taxation, as a state, as a country, we need to do more. Thank God for what we have in Oyo State, and I'm hoping that can translate to Nigeria, where we give a lot of energy to businesses and ensure that they thrive in order to employ our people, in order to generate payee and then to generate company income tax.
I like to quote here, some of us have reasons to suggest business startup overpaid employment for the passionate minds. But can everybody be an entrepreneur?
Just like I've told you, there is the innate ability for any one of us to be an entrepreneur. Whether you ever step out is left to you. For example, I could have been in corporate environment right now. By the time I was leaving corporate environment, a lot of people were confused. I was a whiz kid with all manner of credentials and qualification within the space. People were looking at me and saying, within financial services, this is one of our MDs of the future. But that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something else. And then I stepped out. So I actually believe that every one of us, we have that capacity. So it is a question of whether you are passionate enough to step out.
You said in itself, there's nothing wrong with being an employee for life. What do you mean by that?
That is true.
Someone who has been preaching entrepreneurship and launching out and all that.
I'm creating a balance. I'm creating a balance. I won't castigate anybody for earning salaries. It is fine if you're comfortable with it. And part of also what I don't want to do is throw people into the ocean. I don't want anybody to read my book and then the next thing you're going to do next month or January next year is to say you're resigning. So I wanted to create that particular balance. I've seen a few articles where people suggest things like that. So I created a balance in the book. If you're comfortable with any salaries, there are organizations that pay wonderful salaries in this country.
Yes.
And they have very good packages. If you're comfortable with that for life, that is okay. Maybe on the side, you do a bit of investment and all that. That is fine. By what I do, I dictate my earnings. If you're in paid employment, it's very, very difficult to dictate your earnings. When we're talking about rich people in the world, we don't talk about employees. When we're talking about the history of the world and history of organization, we don't really talk about people that earn salary. We talk about people that make decisions. We talk about MDs, and we talk about people that are able to create things. Those are people we talk about in the world.
That was my conversation with Ayo Ayodeji, author of the book Mind Your Business, an entrepreneurial guide to executing your ideas. I hope you found it enlightening. Please join me for another edition of Book Splash on Splash FM 105.5, same time next Saturday. I thank you for listening, and thanks to my sound manager, Victor Daudu. In case you have comments or queries, please send me a text message on 0805 699 8676 or email Olatunbosun at splashfm1055.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Tumbosun. I am Michael Olatunbosun, and I urge you to please read the book today.